أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على رسولنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم. Okay, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. So, sorry about this setup. We don't have a longer cable, unfortunately. So, welcome, Shafir. Nice seeing you here. So, inshallah, today I thought that it's going to be nice to discuss about this phrase. Maybe you have heard about it. Spiritual but not religious. Let's go with that. As usual, I have a number of questions for you. So you must have heard statements like, I am religious, I am spiritual but not religious, like that type of things. Or maybe, sometimes not, I am religious, but oh, this guy is too religious. That type of a thing. Or, I am spiritual, whatever. So for that, I would like to hear from you. What do you think is religion? When somebody says religion, how do you feel about it? Is it something necessary? Meaning you can't imagine without religion. Or is it something unnecessary? Meaning, it's okay and doable without it. I found myself to be part of it, but it would be fine without it too. Or even sometimes it's something dangerous. It is the source of all evils. Look at all those wars and everything. It's all because of this religion thingy. What is religion? What do you think? I will take definitions from all of you so that I'll not let Yasin work for his too busy work. You will eventually work. Once I start talking, you can. Of course, let's hear it from you. What is religion? Is it necessary? There are two questions here. What is it? And also, do you think it to be that much of an important thing, or it's okay? It's indispensable part of your life, or is it not that much indispensable? Yes, go ahead.
It's a necessary moral compass, I would say.
Necessary moral compass. Okay, what do you mean by that?
Because if we take a look at how Arabs were before the Quran was brought down, a lot of things they did morally were very wrong. I feel like without religion, that humans would go back to their instincts without any disciplines and rules, and they wouldn't live morally. But with religion, it regulates the morals, and it kind of explains why morals are set that way.
Okay. And we'll see if people agree with you, because there might be someone who would argue that, well, look at those secular countries who have rules, yet functioning better than quote unquote religious Muslim, whatever countries, but we function even better than them, they could argue. Anyways, let me just put a question mark over there. But okay, moral compass is what religion is according to Yasin. Anybody else? Yes, Kadir.
So for what is religion, I think it's a set of beliefs for me personally.
Okay, set of beliefs.
And how it is necessary is because this is how my life makes sense.
So are you more spiritual? I'm just using these words in there.
How would you define that?
I don't know. I'm just trying to see where we are going with that.
I don't know. There's a distinction between the two.
Okay.
It's like if you believe in religion, then and how your life makes sense. I genuinely don't know what's the difference between being religious and being spiritual.
Okay.
I could ask that question. What is the difference between those two?
Good. Hazrat, what do you think? Are you religious or spiritual?
I agree with Kadir.
Okay.
It is a set of beliefs, and in addition to that, I think it is also it governs our life too, every aspect of our life.
Okay, governs every aspect of your life. Okay.
For example, how we talk to each other, how we behave to each, like every aspect of life, we can say it governs it.
Okay. Okay. What do you think? Let's go from order, yeah.
Okay, so I think, wait, what's the question? I mean, I heard there's like a lot of questions.
Okay,
So,
religion, what is it?
it's religion, I think it's like a guide for life, it's like how you should live your life, it's like a provided, I guess, like a, yeah, just a guide to life.
So,
And,
you're studying computer science, right?
yeah,
And I'm assuming that you guys are learning how to make computers in there, in that department. I don't know what the heck is
Yeah.
going on. So did you get guidance from God to make computers?
no,
And why do you need guidance from God to navigate your life? Computers are more complex, aren't they?
yeah, I guess it's like I mean, it applies to, like specific areas of life, I guess, I'm not sure. Why.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yasin? See?
it's a good question.
Okay. What do you think? At the end of the discussion, people will become irreligious altogether. This is where this is going. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to say the same thing. It's guidance
Guidance.
like for example, for the humanity, and it should be came from someone who is aware of this creation and who made them. So it's sometimes like, for example, if you see there's some religion that were made up by people, and these people thought that this, for example, this certain rules or a way of to live life is suitable for this environment. So this kind of create some other religion that's created by people.
Okay.
And, yeah.
So then there's this religion of God and religion of other made up religion.
Yeah,
Okay.
even I think, for example, in families, maybe the parents has some way to how to raise their children, and also that's maybe we can call it a religion.
Okay, so does this mean that nobody can be irreligious altogether? So everybody has somewhat of a religion, but maybe they have different religions. Is this where we are going with that? Like, can you think of a person without any religion whatsoever? Could be a good question, and I'll get back to that. That's a good point. Shahriar, what do you think? Religion.
I think religion is just a set of rules to live life the correct way based on the religion you follow. So like the guidelines of follow the right way.
A set of rules, right? So do you need a set of rules in general? Because there are multiple things here. A set of rules, and these set of rules are set by supposedly God. So I guess you need to also believe in God and whatnot. So do you need rules? I guess humans need rules, right? Without boundaries. Can human live without boundaries? We will fight with each other at some point, right? So I will have to respect. I guess the bottom line is we would like freedom. Human wants freedom, but ultimate freedom, where is that? Is such a thing existing really? Like, can I be ultimately free here? I mean, if I am ultimately and in all sense free, how about Kadir? Then there's going to be a point where we will start clashing with each other, right? How are we going to handle this case? So some sort of a boundary is necessary. That's good. A boundary is necessary. But then how are we going to set this boundary? And I think this makes our question to, I'm forgetting your name. Could you remind me, please? Afif. Okay. My question to Afif. We already set up computers, so complex rule sets, right? Computers are a set of rules. We set all sorts of rules, and we are good at it. We are making it. Why not make rules for humans, right? Why do you need God to make set of rules for you? which are interesting questions to ask. And your answer to that question will really shape your answer to those, like, is it necessary? Is it unnecessary? Is religion? Because most of the time, probably we take it on the face value. Like, you are born into a certain religion, and that's at best you question whether I shall follow this or not, at best. And it's hard to get out of that. Like, even if you were born and your father was supporting, I don't know, Barcelona, you will take it as a betrayal to support Real Madrid, right? You will have to take some time for getting mature enough to choose your own soccer team. Forget about religion. So there's this pressure part in there too. So you would be shocked when you go to the college, or maybe high school, not to the college. Oh, it's an option to support Real Madrid. It's not going to be end of the world. So on top of that, let's go a little bit with the psychology of this. Some people say that I am spiritual, but I'm not religious. Why would someone utter such a word? Probably I don't know if you know, have you seen anybody who says this? I'm spiritual, but not religious. Why would somebody say that? And what do they mean by that, do you think? Yes.
I think they would maybe disagree with some rules that the religion,
Also,
certain religion that says, and
okay.
and also they don't capture they don't maybe necessarily believe in God or have a picture of how like who is God. So
Okay.
they would have certain or like missing part of the religion.
Okay. There seems to be some problem with God, is what I'm understanding. If you said you have heard somebody saying this, what was your observation? I mean, not to judge that person, but we are trying to understand what makes a person say that.
Yeah, usually they believe in like a higher power, but they're not like, they don't know what it is. Like they're still searching for, oh, what is it? Like they still haven't found that place in life where they're still on their journey. And like, usually they're like, oh, I believe in a higher power, but I'm not sure what it is or who it is.
Okay.
And so usually, and most of the time they're just like, oh, I don't want to follow these rules. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that if I follow it.
Okay. So then in this case, spirituality is being understood as, I believe in a superpower.
Yeah.
Right. Anything else? Yes, go ahead.
Okay. I've heard this quite a lot actually. And I think so. I guess the way I would define the two is spirituality being believing in a God, but then religion is actually, or how I see it, is actually having a relationship with that God. And I'm thinking of like the Arabic word for religion, correct me if I'm wrong, but we discussed a little bit about the word deen, and how it means feeling indebted. So it's like, yeah, you believe in a God, but do you feel indebted towards him? Do you feel like you want to build a relationship with him? And especially a relationship with him according to the ways that he has, encouraged you to or asked you to build a relationship with him. And I think people do take an issue with that part because, it might conflict with their personal beliefs, or it might conflict with the religion that they are already following.
I see. What do you think about that? I guess even maybe we can question having this feeling of there's a superpower. It looks like this is, I would say, huge majority of people would say that there must exist a superpower because it sounds too dumb to even deny that, because many things are happening beyond my power, beyond anybody's power, and then you cannot explain it, and you say, well, in order not to contradict with myself, I say, yes, there must exist a superpower, but that accepting a superpower lifts, let's say, the burden of self-contradiction, so it's good. Like, humans have a desire to say that, otherwise there's going to be this internal self-conflict. That's good. you said that there must exist such a being, such a thing. I don't know what it is, who it is, or whatever, but such a superpower must exist. Good. But when it comes to religion, then religion is, especially when this sentence is used, it sounds like either, as I'm observing it, there's a certain group of clergy which is using religion as a stick in their hands and saying that Afif, you should obey me because God says so, and then I hit your head with my stick. Or that stick is sometimes being a verse, sometimes it's being a hadith or something, but then I want you to do something, but I use religion as an excuse for putting my pressure on you. And I would think that that sort of a argument, I can empathize with such people, because if all you have seen is, let's even take it simpler. Let's say your father is a super duper self-claimed religious person, okay? And at home, there's terror. When your father steps into the house, I mean, you better be quiet or whatever, right? So in such an environment, the person says, well, this guy is using religion as a tool of oppression on me, so I don't want any of these. And in some countries, it's being the state's policy to use religion for oppression. So I would understand for people saying spiritual but not religious for that purpose, because that religion, that version of religion is really shady, I would say. I mean, it's being used in a weird way. But then what Dua was saying is a more interesting case. Because even if you were to say that religion is coming from the creator, but I am having a tendency not to pay attention, what does this mean? What does this mean? So to me, it sounds like we are in here, we are using a building of Drexel, right? And nobody here claims that building belongs to themselves, right? Does anybody here claims that this room is theirs? No? Okay, nobody has a paperwork for that. Good. Now that we are here, since the place does not belong to me, and I know that the building must have an owner, because, I mean, even if from personal experience, I live in a house and I pay rent for it there because I know that I'm not the owner of the house. Somebody needs to pay for that house, maintain the house, and it's not me. Then I go ahead and pay to that guy, right? For this house, I know that there must exist an owner, a maintainer of this house. Perfect. That is my conviction about a superpower, right? A superpower must exist who is the owner of this place. Cool. And I have to say this because otherwise I would be just contradicting myself. It's basic human, if you like, logic. But then I say, well, I know this building belongs to someone. But then I say, well, I want to do some graffiti here. I don't want to be restricted. Like, how dare you tell me? I start making a graffiti, and then Kadir comes and says, stop, what are you doing? This building is not yours. I said, well, why are you restricting my freedom? He says, but there's an owner of this building. I say, yeah, I am not denying the owner of the building. I'm not the owner. I 100% agree. I'm not the owner of the building. Then the owner, the maintainer, would induce some sort of a rules for you to say that, okay, I allow you to behave like this in here and not like that in here. Isn't this common sense? So why do you not submit to that truth? Submitting to, because I am already convinced that this building belongs to someone, right? But I am not living by that conviction. Living by that conviction would mean that making graffiti, let's say I have the urge to make a graffiti here, but I have to say, well, what did I just say? I said that this building had an owner, and I'm not free to behave as I wish. I have to ask the guy who is the owner of the house, who is maintaining the house. And if he says, yeah, you can make graffiti, go for it, I will go for it. If he says, no, you cannot, if I am sincere of my conviction about I'm not owning the house, then I wouldn't do graffiti, right? So I will have to submit to my conviction, because my conviction says, don't touch, don't break, don't do graffiti. This is the consequences of my conviction. But do I submit to that? I have a freedom to go against my conviction. I can say that, yes, this house has an owner, but who cares? I'll break everything, right? What did I do? I went against my conviction. I didn't submit to my conviction. How would I submit to my conviction? I would say that, yes, this house is a owner, so I cannot break anything. Yes, I agree, and I will abide by my conviction. A simpler example for your conviction versus submitting to your conviction is every smoker would know that it's dangerous for their health. They know, and they said that, yes, I'm killing myself. Smoking is bad. But still, they will go ahead and keep smoking. What does that mean? The person didn't submit to his or her conviction, and he goes against his conviction, right? So Islam means submission. And I'll bring up that verse in a second. So I'll bring you two sets of verses. The first one is the super famous verse about Inna Dina Indallahi Islam. The religion before Allah is Islam. I needed to change the translation here. The translator was using capital I Islam, but I made it lowercase I Islam. Because Islam as the name of religion, it became like a brand name, if you like, and it can get detached from its meaning. Because if you go ahead and keep reading the verse and the following verse, the word Islam keeps repeating. But you will see that the translator inevitably now starts translating it as submission. Okay? So indeed, the religion before Allah is Islam. وَمَا اخْتَلَفَ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ إِلَّا مِنْ بَعْدِ مَا جَاءَهُمُ الْعِلْمُ بَغْيًا بَيْنَهُمْ وَمَنْ يَكْفُرْ بِآيَاتِ اللَّهِ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ سَرِيعُ الْحِسَابِ. Nor did the people of the book dissent therefrom except through envy of each other after knowledge had come to them. But if any deny the signs of Allah, Allah is swift in calling to account. So the context of the verse is the Creator is saying that indeed the religion, and I'll take it back to what Dua is mentioning about religion, we'll get to there too. But religion in the eye of Allah is Islam, is submission. But the people of the book will argue against it out of envy. This is also interesting. People of the book is envying against that submission, that rule set is interesting. Because who is people of the book? You can take it as the people who have received revelation before, like Christians, Jews, right? Just one way to take it. And it makes sense to take it as such. We can talk more about that. There's another way to take it, because even today, who is denying scriptures as a deen is other people of the book, meaning learned people, like professors of law, professors of history, professors of literature. Those are people of the book in the sense that they study book. What I'm right now saying is a secondary meaning. And then they are challenging that religion is just rubbish. They have their alternative books, which is work of thousands of years of thought. And they're saying that we can come up with better laws, right? So Quran in here is saying that it's a matter of envy. To support your conviction, are you submitting to your conviction about this house has an owner, so I have to ask the owner of the house what he wants me to handle, how to handle this life. But somebody comes and says, we don't need to ask it to the university. We can figure it out. We can figure out whether we should do graffiti over here or not. Well, maybe it's okay to sleep here. Okay. It's okay to sleep here. Well, maybe the university doesn't let you. Well, I mean, it's common sense, man. Come on, we can sleep here. Right? Can I make such judgments? Because from my perspective, if I bring my son Ali here, 2-year-old, he will make his judgment and he will say that, oh, this is what he does. He paints the whole house, all the walls are with his circles with the crayons, right? To him, it's perfectly fine. To me, it's wrong because now I will need to paint the house before we leave. Otherwise, landlord will charge me a good amount of money, right? But for a 2-year-old, it's perfectly fine. And what makes me think that my judgment is better? Like relative to me, that 2-year-old's judgment is wrong, right? How about, let's imagine a Yusuf, which is at his 70s. Now I am thinking that I am the rightest person on earth, right? At my 70s, I would start thinking that, well, what stupid of a judgment I made when I was 40. Which makes me question, relative to what am I going to judge? Because we think it like, oh, it's common judgment is good enough. We don't need scripture. We don't need revelation to tell us what the judgment should be like, right? So this is why this very interesting. People of the book is coming this, showing this resentment for out of envy. Yeah.
So I just want to go to the question: how would you judge people of the book? Like, for example, you were saying about the people who teach the religion. How would you judge them? How do you know, like, if, for example, how to judge how we are going to live our life? We would go to the people of book, but how do we judge those?
So we can get there, but let's first get an idea that, do I need that in the first place? Like this is right now, this is secondary, because I think the even more important question is, religion is this external outside thingy for our lives, especially within modern day, and we have alternatives to it. Like we have a secular rule set, which the civilization is coming up with, and Hollywood is just promoting it everywhere. And it looks okay. Even it looks shinier. And look at all the Muslim countries. What do people start wearing like, speaking like? I mean, patterns are changing, isn't it? I was just a couple of days ago seeing that there are parties going on in Saudi Arabia. This was something unheard of, but now it's there. So it's happening, right? So there's an alternative that's being presented, and yeah, people start considering it, right? So first of all, is religion a necessary thing in there? We even don't have it because we follow religion just because we found it there in the first place. But we are quitting it so quick because we don't recognize the need for it. And alternatives that's presented in there is being presented colorfully, more colorful. And even the same environment which presents these alternatives are presenting religion in black paint as well. So then the youth would say, well, of course, this makes more sense. I'm not going to go with that one, right? The propaganda is there as well. So do you need for it? Do you see any use of it in the first place, right? This is why let's take it down to super simple stuff like painting the wall of a house. As a human, you would say that it doesn't make any sense. Of course, I will ask the owner of the house because you know that, first of all, you must conclude that there must be an owner of the house, which I'm thinking should be straightforward. But once you are there, you would definitely ask the owner of the house what to do, right? So now this was verse 19 in Surah Al Imran, and we'll go to 20.
I did not understand the translation from like, nor did the people of the book descend therefore envy of each other.
So they will argue against you for nothing but out of their envy. So this is primarily being addressed to the prophet, but you can read it to yourself as well by saying that in the eyes of the Creator, religion is Islam, submitting to truth. People of the book will come and argue against that for no solid reason, but just envy. This is what that I'm reading it from here. وَمَا اخْتَلَفَ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ إِلَّا مِنْ بَعْدِ مَا جَاءَهُمُ الْعِلْمُ بَغْيًا بَيْنَهُم. It's just out of their envy among them. I mean, there's no basis. There is no solid justification for why there is this counter argument, because you can say that, well, look at all those universities, all those learned people, they are, let's say, arguing against Islam as a religion. I mean, they must have something that they know about. But the Quran in here is saying that all those is coming out of some sort of an envy. What is envy? We can also relate to that. Do I feel envious towards Creator? Sounds so absurd, right? But we do. Especially, look around yourself. If you start getting a little of a learned person, initially, if you don't know anything, you would say, oh, Allah knows everything, scholar knows everything, right? As you start getting a little of a learned person, start developing some sense of thought, I would say you would start saying, well, I think this is how it should be. Isn't it? Because now I become a person who can produce ideas. And now there's this idea that the Prophet is coming up with. Well, maybe Prophet didn't make it right. I can do it better. Competition comes into the picture. That's human. That competition happens. But is it a justified competition? This is the question. Is it coming out of my pure ego? Or is it coming for me searching truth? Humbleness is an important thing, but true humbleness could only happen if I realize that I have nothing. I own nothing. And it's simply I am being given. Even the ideas that I think is being given to me. If I take it as such, only then I can be humble. Otherwise, I can show off, pretend to be a humble person, but I will start competing. I will start competing with Prophet. I will start competing with God. This is what does competing with God means? You will see people after a certain point who will start saying that the speech of God, I think it's made up. This cannot be speech of God, somebody would say. What I'm trying to say with that is not to discourage you from thinking or anything of that sort, just the contrary. We will need to ask those questions. But the thing is, as I go in that route, which state, what sort of a position I am taking? And the envy in there is there, it happens. So it's not talking about somebody out there. It's talking about us, my dear brothers and sisters. It's talking about us. We are just a handful of people here. Juma is a little more crowded, right? But the Muslim population on campus is much more than that. We don't care. Why? We are losing. Religion simply become a culture for us. We are having ties with religion because we are born into it. We are having some issues with it, but we cannot quit from it because we love our parents. I have seen many cases. It's easy for boys to hide it, but since hijab is an external indication of religion for sisters, I have heard sisters who are saying that I cover hijab because I love my parents. Just apply it to yourself. Like in sisters, it's easy to see because they do carry, and it's not easy to carry that symbol outside. How about brothers? Doing religion just to please your parents. You cannot quit just because of that. Otherwise, it doesn't have any utility in your life. This is being the case for many people, right? Let's be honest and question for yourself. Seeing the scene, maybe it's not too different for me either. Let's be honest in this case. This is what I'm trying to invite us to. How useful that is for me in my personal life. Would it be, if tomorrow some revelation comes and says, okay, God said that you don't have to follow religion anymore. What would you do? Would you say, no, impossible. Would you say it like this? Or would you say, well, since God said so, okay, let's party. Is it that indispensable for you? Or you're doing it just because you found it there, right? It should have been as indispensable as air or water, but is it? If I were to come here and say, Kadir, that, do not do graffiti, the university says so. So And then afterwards, I say, okay, oh no, just the university had said that Qadir can do it. It's okay for Qadir. Qadir would say that no, I cannot. Like it doesn't go with the order of the university. Still, he wouldn't. There has to be a rule, he would say. How central, in my understanding, the deen is. Let me continue with the following verse. Oh, there are 2 comments. Okay. Oh, Dua says, easy for brothers. Beards are trendy now. Yes, beards are trendy, but beards are not for the sake of creator. It's just for the sake of being trendy. Okay. فَإِنْ حَاجُّكَ فَقُلْ أَسْلَمْتُ وَجْهِيَ لِلَّهِ وَمَنِ اتَّبَعَنِي. This is why I wanted to translate it as submission. So if they dispute with you, say, I have submitted my whole self to Allah. And so have those who follow me. وَقُلْ لِلَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ وَالْأُمِّيِّينَ أَسْلَمْتُمْ. And say to the people of the book and to those who are unlearned, do you also submit yourselves? أَسْلَمْتُمْ. Sometimes this is again being translated as have you become Muslim? But Islam being a proper name for a religion has become a thing not with the beginning of the revelation. It became a thing later on. Because now when we say like Christianity, let's say, it's being identified with Christ, Jesus, right? But I mean, now it's being named with that, Christianity, the followers of Jesus. But when Jesus comes, he just shows a path to people, right? Nowadays, we are thinking more in terms of cultures, in terms of certain identities and whatnot. But what is religion at its core? It is like this house has an owner, and for a reason he put me in this house. Like just take it. University is a perfect example. This building is maintained by university, and we are here for a reason, which is to learn. But we are not owners here. We are guests here, right? And there's a reason for us to be here. What is the most natural question you would ask? Like, okay, like the guys who are running the university definitely has a curriculum for me. And to follow that curriculum, there are a set of paths. I mean, there are billions of wrong ways to go for sure. I can party every day, do all sorts of things and whatnot. But there is a guided way of graduating from that university, and not painting graffiti to the walls is part of that, because the owner says that, well, if you go that crazy, it's just not aligned with what I would like you to get out of this college education. You doing graffiti to the walls or sleeping in the meeting room, you can be something else, a homeless or whatever, but not a student. We invite you to here to be a student, the university would say, and you agree that we are running this university and you are not running it? Yes, I agree. Then he says, abide by our rules. Otherwise, either we will expel you from this school or you will become unsuccessful. We will not give you the degree you're looking for. Are you going to argue against this? I mean, this is perfectly sensible thing to do, isn't it? This is what's happening. I found myself to be here. I mean, I was born. I didn't choose to be born. I was born. But the maker, and I'm not running the universe. I'm not even claiming to run this body. I know that there's someone who is running this body, who is running the universe, and who put me into this education facility. Universe is an education facility. And he said, I put you for a reason, and here is my curriculum. I would like you to learn. Human is supposed to be learning here, right? Because animals, they come here as experts of how to run, how to walk, how to make honey. They don't learn, but human is supposed to learn. And my maker is saying that here's my curriculum. If you would like to succeed in my education, you will follow these steps. And do these and don't do that if you would like to become successful. If not, okay, go your ways. You can live as you wish, but I'm going to give you punishment. It sounds weird to be punished. Like the creator says, don't drink, what is it? Zinc, right? This is part of the curriculum. Don't drink zinc. You know zinc, the chemical? If you drink zinc, what happens? You get punished. You die, right? That's the rule out there. That's written in the creation. The creator says, if you jump from somewhere else, I set a rule, right? If you jump from 5th floor, I will kill you, so don't do it. But you're free. If you jump, this is okay. I told you not to do that. If you jump, he punishes you with death. So those rules are already out there. Nobody's arguing against that, right? Then the creator, the designer of the curriculum, and the owner of the house comes and says, okay, let me introduce you some verbal instructions as well for your success, for your learning. This is why Revelation started with read. This was the first revelation. So I'm supposed to be learning here, and then he gives me instructions how to go through that education. That is that rule set. But do I submit to that rule set? Because I already concluded that, yes, this is the university, I am here to learn. But do I stay here to learn, or do I live this as if, college life is for partying, right? Because we live life like that sometimes. Life is for earning money. Life is for becoming successful and becoming the next, Steve Jobs or whatever. I mean, tons of different routes there are in life, and some of them are being promoted so much that you really start thinking like this is the way to go, right? But my conviction was what? Whatever, I'm not the owner of here, and whatever the owner says, I should follow that. I mean, this is my common sense. But then Kadir comes and says, forget about it. Come, let's do some partying. I said, well, university administration says, don't do it. Kadir says, come on, it's okay. They will forget it. Or you will catch up with the classes. It's just one night, right? So I do not submit to my conviction based on devil's suggestions, right? Or a devilish suggestion. This is our reality, folks. This is why Islam, inna din inda Allah al-Islam is, do I submit to the truth? Islam means submission. Do I submit to that conclusion, that conviction that I don't own anything, but I am owned. I am being created. The heart is being pumped, I don't do it. The blood is being cleaned, I don't do it. Any of these, right? I am being maintained, and I have a maintainer, somebody who is maintaining me. And that maintainer not only physically maintains me, but mentally, emotionally. He put a curriculum in front of me for this life, 60, 70, 80 years, whatever, however long it is. And I should follow that rule set, that guideline, if I would like to be successful. As simple as that. But he left me free, which is interesting. He is not forcing me to abide by these rules. He's saying that you're free to do it. I would like you to voluntarily follow this path. But if you do not follow it, I will show you the consequences of that. Like to my students, I give them an exam. And I say that I would like you to study and be successful, but you're okay to cheat. But if I catch you, I'm going to punish you. And even if I don't catch you, you will eventually be punished because you will get into a job and you have no clue whatsoever what you're supposed to be doing because you cheated when you were taking the course. So you don't know it. Eventually you will be punished, right? And nobody complains about that. This is the beauty of how Creator is teaching us. Nothing different with the religion. The Creator says, do this, otherwise I will punish you. Makes perfect sense to me. And the punishment should be there. Otherwise, if there is no punishment, students, like hardworking students, lazy student, right? Works hard, gets 99, uses ChatGPT, gets 100. He's going to feel stupid after a point, right? He would say that, what's wrong with me? Because it looks like he's going to get into a job, because he got 100, I got 99, he will get a better job. Everybody will think that he's better. So he will start feeling bad. So punishment is good for justice, but even punishment is good for the lazy student to say that wake up, like this, it's not good for you. You're harming yourself. You're trying to take a shortcut, but this is define the purpose of education. You were here to learn, not to get that stupid number, right? So in life, the Creator is threatening me in religion. He lays down those rules, and those rules are the curriculum of how to learn, and we can go deeper actually. Why did you put this into curriculum? You would ask that question to the professor, right? And if the professor is a wise person, he would say that, oh, I put it because you're going to see this and that problem in the future. Or I chose this programming language because it teaches it this way, that way, right? Why did you put this? Why not eating pork? Why not, don't drinking alcohol or whatever? For all of them, you would find wisdom that aligns with the purpose of the curriculum. But this is secondary for us. Even, am I clear that the educator would put his set of guidelines for me to reach success, which is called religion? And do I submit to that fact? Because you might be enrolled officially as a student to the university, but you're behaving like a irresponsible person. You're not really a student. Officially student, but not student, right? This could happen in my life as well. I am spiritual, but not religious. Not exclusively, that's not what it means, but under the hood, this is what it sounds like. Yeah, I do not deny that this building has an owner, but I don't want to follow the rule set. As I said, I can empathize for that statement if it is coming from people who have seen this super ugly picture of religion and whatnot. Let's put it aside, though, because I can understand that. But when I come to this side of it, if I am not following the rule set just because I want to draw that graffiti to the wall, then it's my arrogance. And I am not acting up on what I am convinced about, right? And then there's this other surah, which we studied last week at Penn, Surah Al-Kafirun. You heard about that surah? You memorized it? Everybody knows it? Qul ya ayyuhal kafirun. Very interesting surah. It starts addressing, say, oh, you that reject faith. It's talking to kafirun, right? Kafir, denier, right? La a'budu ma ta'budun. Says, I don't worship that which you worship. Come on. The guy is denying God. What sort of a worship you are talking about? Isn't it interesting? A denier worshiping someone? Does your atheist friend worship someone? Apparently it is. وَلَا أَنْتُمْ عَابِدُونَ مَا أَعْبُدُ. Nor do you worship that which I worship. وَلَا أَنَا عَابِدٌ مَا عَبَدْتُمْ. And I am not a worshipper to that which you have been wont to worship, you have been worshiping. وَلَا أَنْتُمْ عَابِدُونَ مَا أَعْبُدُ. Nor do you worship that which I worship. Which is very interesting, but I'm going to cut it short. Let's focus on this last verse. لَكُمْ دِينُكُمْ وَلِيَ دِينِي. To you is your religion, and to me, my religion. We were talking about a denier, and now it is saying that to you is your religion, to me is my religion. Well, it looks like even the denier has a religion. What does that even mean? Bringing to what you were saying, right? Even in a family, a parent is putting a certain set of rules, right? So a religion is that set of rules, and society, today's society, might be having its own set of rules about how we should be earning money, how we should be spending money, your own personal life. Everybody have a set of rules. But here, and interestingly, it started with denial, and right after denial came the point of worshiping. What does worship mean? Any idea? We started a little late, so in 10 minutes, I'll be wrapping it up. Worship. Who would you worship? Or do you worship? Forget about if you are doing prayer, fine. But worshiping, what does worship mean? Why would you worship? What is the meaning of worship? Yes.
Something you think gives you sustenance.
Something, Okay, you're talking about to whom I worship. I worship to someone who is sustaining me. But what does worship mean?
Worship itself.
Worship. You guys do it, right? I will start suspecting. Okay, go ahead.
Worship means like submit,
Submit.
yeah, someone.
To submit to someone. Okay, this let me use the word abd, ubudiyya here. Abudu. Like
So like obeying someone, like
o- o-
acts of worship.
obeying someone. Okay, so there needs to be a command. Is this obeying? Okay, yes.
Praise.
Praise. To praise. Okay, what else? Obey, praise,
Like serve.
serve. Like washing the dishes
No, like
of
being a
God.
servant.
Okay, servant.
Like being a servant.
Being a servant, let's open it up a little bit. Like cleaning the dishes of God, or what sort of a service do you offer to God?
Like whatever acts of worship he tells you to do, you do.
Okay, so he tells you to do prayer and then you do it. But who are you serving in this case? Are you serving him or you're serving like students? When student studies for the exam, okay, here's a student. And I already assigned the homework to him. Sharia, do the homework. Is he, let's say he does the homework. Who is he serving? Is he serving me by doing the homework? Himself, right? Okay, so I don't get any benefit of him doing his job. Like you doing your prayer should be something like doing homework, right? But you are going to get something out of it, not the teacher. So let's reshape our understanding of service, right? I mean, the word itself, the abd, is used for slave, right? And in our regular understanding, slave serves the master, right? Master has some job to be done and he doesn't want to dirty his hands and says, go and do the job, right? Is this the case? The creator says, okay, well, we'll need to build a new mosque. I don't want to build it myself. Usama, you go ahead and build it. That's not the case, right? By building that mosque, still, he is the one who creates everything, right? He is the one who makes you move and everything. So he is the one who's building the mosque. But Usama, use your free will in that thing. I'm going to create everything, as if the creator says. But I would like you to be part of that process so that you will learn something by being part of that building mosque project. Or, I mean, just a simple play example, but you can generalize it, right? So abd is someone who is realizing that I don't have anything. Everything is being given to me. See if you agree with that statement in your own lives. Like, since everybody in here is a university student, you think like to a certain extent you are smart, aren't you? Usama is a smart guy. Do you feel like that intellect is yours? Or do you sense and you're convinced that it is being given to you even now? A brilliant idea. Can you claim, let's say, Shahriar is going to solve problem number 3.E in the assignments. 3.C was the hard one, 3.C. And after long, he would say, I found it, right? And he's now proud of himself because he found the answer. Was he right that he found the answer? Where did the answer come from? Because you didn't know the answer 5 minutes before. You just sit in that room for 5 more minutes and somehow the answer is there. Where did the answer come from? He can say that I found the answer. What would that mean? I created the answer. I'm a little bit of a god, you know? Or he can say that I didn't know what the answer was. I was asking for answer. I was looking for it, but it came to me. I don't know from where. This is why they say light bulb gets on, right? You don't know how it get on, but the tricky part is we attribute it to ourselves and we say that I did it, right? Abd means realizing that all I have is need. I am in need of finding the answer, but I don't have the answer. This is why you turn towards the answerer, and studying for an exam is an active way of asking. You tell me the answer. I don't know. I cannot find the answer if you don't tell me. This is being an abd. And this surah is saying that everybody is asking from somebody. Believer, the first addressee of this verse is the prophet, but the surah is also talking to you. Believer should be saying that I also ask from someone because I am needy. I know that I cannot come up with ideas. I cannot pump my heart. I don't want to die, but I will die. I want an eternal life, but I cannot create eternal life. I want a happy family, but I cannot create a happy family. Happiness is not your creation. You are just in need of it. You cannot make happiness, right? So you are asking it from your creator. But somebody else would say that, no, I am asking it from my high-paying salary. Money brings happiness. So I am becoming the slave of, abd of my job, my career, my paying salary. You will be a slave no matter what. In this existence, since human is needy, you have to ask from someone. But the question is, who are you a slave of? And whomever you are becoming a slave of, they will come with a set of rules in front of you. Everybody has a deen. If you become the slave of the society, what would they say? Success, success, success. You have to be successful, right? Especially in the current economy. Oh, you feel like once you graduate from college, you will be good? No, it's just the beginning. So either you will need to get a master's or PhD, or if you get into industry job, you feel like you're the lowest worker within the company, right? What do they say? Junior, a programmer? Or then they would say, oh, you should become a senior, or then a manager, or then this and that. And you will feel like, and there's a set of rules to climb the ladders. So there's a deen in there. And as Dua was saying, the word deen literally means that, dain, right? Who are you feeling indebted to? Like, for example, your mother makes a good food to you. Thanksgiving is coming. People go to their parents' houses and the parents make a nice food. And what do you say? Oh, you go and hug your mother because you're now feeling indebted to your mother because she cooked a nice food for you, right? If I think my success or my strength within the society is because of my job, I will feel indebted to my job and I will become its slave. My career will be more important than anything else. It's going to become more important than family. It's going to become more important than my health, right? Because I don't want to hurt it. My success, my career shouldn't get hurt. If it means I'm going to neglect my children, let it be. Because I shouldn't displease my career. It should not get a dent, right? It should be perfect. So I am worshiping. It became my religion. I am indebted to that route now, and I'm trying to play the game according to these rules. That becomes my religion. So I'm spiritual but not religious. Everybody is religious, but of a different religion. I mean, of course, I'm taking the word out of its context. Those people who say that word doesn't say it for this purpose, but this Surah Al-Kafirun, is saying that everybody has a religion and everybody worships something. The question is, who do you worship? And is the one or the thing that you worship is worthy to be worshipped? Meaning, when you ask, is it going to give you an answer? Or is it just going to suck the life out of you? If you feel success, earning more salary, is going to give satisfaction to you, especially in the society, it's going to suck the life out of you. You will have to work so much. Like when I was in Turkey, people were looking for super comfortable jobs, which is government jobs, right? You work little, you have a salary, guaranteed salary and whatnot. When I came here, like even the most basic job, you have to have 2-3 jobs. People do some morning job and then in the evening they do either pizza delivery. Nowadays it's Uber. Nobody's stopping in America. They keep working and working. Yes, there is some sort of a life standard, a American dream, but people are paying their lives to get into this single house, and even it's not affordable nowadays as it used to be 15 years ago, right? If that's your religion, you worship that path and you pay for it. Everybody has a religion. The question is, are you following the curriculum that your maker gives to you, or you're following the curriculum of some other people who gets into the room and says, oh, people, forget about Drexel. Yeah, the building belongs to the Drexel, but we have this cheaper plan for you. And we are going to teach you how to become a computer scientist in 1 year. You don't need to wait 5 years, right? They come up with a nicer, whatever, like more colorful type of a thing, deceive you and say that, okay, but you will have to pay us 10,000. Okay, you pay 10,000. And then they say 3 months later, oh, you are 3 months into the program, but you will have to pay us a little more. This is how we are doing, isn't it? We are in this life. And although we are here to learn, read in the sense of read in the name of your Lord who created you, somebody comes from the door and says, Usama, you look like a too smart of a person. You have to become the, what was it, field medal winner, the next field medal. I see it there, right? It's the Nobel of mathematicians. So I see it there. And then you start getting excited. Wow, it looks like he saw the potential in me, right? And I say, well, come for our department for a PhD program. You get into, once I hook you, and then I say, well, let's get first done this papers. And I start sucking life out of you. And you later on, you realize that, field medal, as you get closer to it, it's going farther away from you, like this, carrot in front of the stick. That is being the price that we pay. Everybody has a religion. What is my religion? I guess this is the bottom line. So let us conclude here. And religion is inevitable. Everybody has it. The only type that wouldn't have a religion could be anarchist. And anarchy had been a thing, so just defying any rule. There could be such a personality type as well. I mean, not many people are like that, but anarchy. Any rule I see somewhere, I would like to break that rule, right? But I don't know if you would like to take such a route in life. But apparently, people have either this rule set, that rule set. Everybody's following a certain rule set. But which rule set is worthy to be followed? And shouldn't this rule set be perfectly aligned with my convictions in life? Why am I here? Where did I come from? Where am I going to? So this is why your convictions, iman, and how you behave cannot be detached from each other. So spiritual versus religious and whatnot, this is a unfortunate distinction that is being made out there, because it cannot be that I am convinced that I'm a student, but I'm not going to do assignments. If you don't do your assignments, you wouldn't learn anything. I am convinced that I'm a student, but I'm not going to do lectures. I mean, it doesn't make sense. So if you are convinced that you have a maker, you have a creator, and you are here to learn, then you should learn. You should study how, based on the curriculum that's put in front of you. Otherwise, you're not even spiritual. Like I'm spiritual versus not religious, whatnot. It's an oxymoron in this case. Of course, again, I'm admitting that I'm taking it out of context, but just so that the topic gets understood. And Omari Latifa says, to follow all the rules which came from God, then this, yes, becomes my ultimate goal. If I am convinced about my maker as God, then I would say, yes, you set the curriculum in front of me. And again, I will be asking, at least I will try to make sense of why he put this into curriculum, why he put that into curriculum. Because if you understand this why questions, you become more excited following these assignments, right? This is what I try to do. When I assign a homework to students, I say, the reason I put this assignment is because this, then the student gets motivated, more motivated to do that assignment because now they see the outcome, right? So it's perfectly fine and encouraged to ask the question, why am I doing this? Why is this rule there? It's perfectly fine. And you will find wisdom in there and you will enjoy more following it after having that. So sorry that it took a little long. Any questions, concluding remarks? Yes.
I have a question about the example you mentioned with the school and the student. So in this example, the student chose to be in school.
Yeah.
And like, how would that be in the real life?
Yeah. So there's this, you heard about Qalu Bala? So Allah created the spirits and asked them, Alastu bi Rabbikum? And then they said, Qalu Bala Rabbina. Quran mentions the creation of souls, right? And it looks like in they generally in the tradition, this is narrated as in the realm of spirits, everybody confirmed that Allah has created them. So it looks like we voluntarily accepted this. But Usama says, I don't remember that. Like the first thing I remember is, I don't know, what's your first childhood memory? Probably age 1, 2. How can you confirm such a thing, right? God says, am I not your Lord? And the Creator says, souls responded, yes, indeed you are. Bala. Ask yourself now, are you okay if I take a gun and shoot you? You like living, don't you? Like this life is something that we enjoy. Human enjoys life. What we don't enjoy is hardships. If I take away any hardship that you're struggling with, you would be perfectly happy to live the life. Another example, horse. Horses love running, they say, right? And they love running and enjoy running so much so that if you don't stop the horse, it's going to die with cardiac arrest, right? Running is hard, but the horse is enjoying it. So human is made to enjoy life, made to enjoy learning, because even my 2-year-old son, when he takes the screwdriver, he just likes pretending to fix something. There's a joy that this 2-year-old kid is getting from. Human is meant to get joy out of that. So I am put here, yes, apparently I'm not asked to be sent here. I agree with that. But do I not voluntarily and lovingly accept it is my question. Am I not happy being here? So taking it from that perspective, because if somebody says, no, I'm not happy with that, my question is then, are you not happy being here because you have this assignment? This is how some students are. They are happy being college student. They are happy showing off to their friends in Pakistan saying that, look, I am computer science at Drexel and whatnot, Philadelphia. But when it comes to making assignment 3 of a data structures class, they are just using all sorts of bad words for the professor, right? Come on, like you enjoy. And what you are having trouble with is your laziness. Just get out of that, and you can do that assignment. You can solve this problem, and you're going to be happy if you solve the problem. You're going to get paid for that. What you're complaining about is your laziness. So, yes, we are not put here by choice, but we are made to be satisfied and happy with what we are living with. And for the parts that we are unhappy with, let's question ourselves: what is it that I'm unhappy with? And my short claim here would be that it's my either arrogance or laziness that makes me unhappy. I took it too long, so I'll close it. You have a comment there? No? No? We're good? سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعواهم أن الحمد